We're going to find a way to reduce echo in this room on the cheap. Take a look at how far we've come getting rid of this pesky echo using items we already had around our house. I am controlling the horizontal and the vertical. I am controlling the horizontal and the vertical. I am controlling the horizontal and the vertical. That's why I set up some cool tests and made changes so you can see what really works. We can look at what each adjustment did or didn't do and whether it was worth keeping. The important part is we just use household items and moved around things to reduce the echo. It's been a real echo party in here, but we're going to dive in and fix it. I've gone on a real YouTube marathon, a true rabbit hole, 30 hours of watching sound engineering, echo proofing, soundproofing, sound absorption, how to build your own sound absorbers. You know the deal. And I'm going to distill everything I learned into a bite-sized bit of knowledge so that you can make the right steps in your office without spending thousands of dollars on stuff you just don't need. And guess what? Solutions range from simple tweaks to mind-bending strategies. Some of them are a breeze, and others may have you wanting to just rethink your whole space. Or is that just me? Maybe I'm the only one who does that. I'm going to show you what I did and whether it helped or not, so you can also do this in your office. Let's start with the basics. Surfaces matter. Hard, flat surfaces act like echo magnets, bouncing sound waves all over the place. Soft, bumpy surfaces soak up sound and diffuse it to some degree, reducing the strength of echoes. And hey, if you like the deeper waters and want to know things like the relationship between sound absorption and frequency and the depth of the absorption material, you should check out this playlist I put in the description below. It's got all the coolest videos that I watched as background to make this video and fix my office. Imagine tossing a ping pong ball against the surface in front of you. Does it bounce back? How much does it bounce back? Where does it bounce back? These things are important because this is going to be your first reflection. And your first reflection really sets the scene for how much echo you're going to get. Imagine if all the sound in front of you was absorbed by the material in front of you, there would be nothing to bounce back. Thusly, if we can treat our first reflection point, we reduce the amount of energy that can ping pong around the room and drive us crazy. Notice the hardest, flattest things tend to produce the best ping pong bounces. Same too with echoes. But it's not a straight line, it's like an expanding ice cream cone shape, bouncing off and creating echoes as it spreads out. These echoes keep bouncing around until they've dissipated their energy and then you can't hear them anymore. Now, check out my office layout. Center stage is basically where I talk, and the wall in front of me is my first reflection point. There's a whiteboard there, and I use that for notes. There's a door to the left, and that leads to a bathroom, and there's a door to the right, and that leads to a carpeted hallway. On stage right, that is a large wall with a door in it that leads to a 4x6 closet. Behind me, my backdrop is a flat wall, and there's no furniture or treatment there. And then stage left has a bookcase, an easy chair, and a bunch of stuff I use when I'm either making music or relaxing or reading books. Do people still read books? Okay, so I ran a bunch of tests, but some of them didn't quite hit the mark. For example, I strummed an E chord on my guitar, but the way the strings reverberate didn't really have any clear echoes that I could pick up, and there wasn't really a noticeable difference as I progressed through the test. So I kept that out of the test so you wouldn't get bored. And then there was my drum pad. I banged out a rhythm on that and had a super good time with it, but really couldn't tell any difference in the reflections or echo throughout the test, so I threw that one away too. Oh, and here's a reality check. When that cushion fell off the diffuser wall and hit the camera, it could have knocked it over into the wall, causing me to buy a new camera and possibly a drywall patch kit. And we wouldn't want that, would we? Basically, we centered on 3 tests that really showed a difference and I think are meaningful for the use case. The first test is a vocal phrase. I say, I am controlling the horizontal and the vertical. And once you've said that 72 times, it seems like second nature. If you get the reference to that phrase, leave a hit in the comment below. The next test was 3 sharp claps. Claps have a sharpish sound and they have very fast decay, so it's easy to hear any leftover echoes. My last test was hitting 2 blocks of wood together, which produced a very sharp sound and was good for detecting echoes. Let's talk about our room treatments. There's 3 doors that I can open. Some of the advice on the internet said open the doors. Makes sense because there's somewhere for the sound waves to go. So I went ahead and tried that with the 2 easiest doors, the bathroom and the closet. And then I tried a second test with the hallway door open. This one's a little more problematic. Even though the hallway leads into a carpeted area and the rest of our house, giving a good pathway to diffuse sound waves, sound can also come from the other parts of the house into my office when I don't want it to, and I'd rather have that closed. However, we put a test in anyway. Blankets. There's 2 blankets. These are moving blankets. Why did I pick moving blankets? Because I had them. I did the first blanket test on stage right because it didn't block my whiteboard, and the second test I went ahead and covered the whiteboard. Wait till you see the results. Then I added a diffuser mat, and a diffuser mat really is a gym mat that I found downstairs shaped in a diffusey kind of way. And then there's 3 couch cushions which I pulled off of the couch and stacked them on top of this diffuser mat. And for fun and bonus points, I grabbed the bathroom mat from the bathroom and laid it on the floor in front of me. What inspired me was, how many flat surfaces can I get rid of on the route to my first reflection? I am controlling the horizontal and the vertical. 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 I'm feeling pretty good about the echo reduction we achieved. Hanging those blankets and softening up the initial reflection really made the difference. But let's be real, setting up that diffuser wall was a real big pain, and it's not going to do me well to have things that can fall over and knock into my camera. I'll work on finding something just as effective, but a lot easier to set up and a lot less easy to fall down. So now that I've done my test, I've got a pretty good idea of what changes are actually going to matter in here. And I think for about 150 bucks, I can buy some sound blankets and some quick assemble hardware so that I can convert my office into record mode in about 5 minutes. I also won't have to live with blankets on my wall. Got any killer tips for reducing echo? Leave them in the comments. I read every one. Happy building!